Folks, welcome in to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor. We're going to go over not just NBA today. We're also going to go over NHL. We're going to go over both sports DFS slates. That's why I've got my beautiful brother in here, Mr. Dion Boykin. How you doing today, brother?
Yo, you know it, bro. It's a great day to be above ground. So shit, it's always a great day.
That's it. That's it. And so we're going to start it out. The format we're going to do, we're going to start with hockey. We're going to get into the hockey stuff first, and then we'll go over our NBA picks after that. It just keeps it more organized. If we went back and forth, that would be way, way, way too confusing. And of course, Dion is the man when it comes to hockey. So he's going to lead the way in terms of the hockey show. We have a 7-game slate for the hockey slate. First things first, big thank you, first of all, to everyone joining us in the chat box and here joining us live. I appreciate that. Hit the like button. We really appreciate that. If you're watching this on replay, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Lots of big stuff coming out. I don't want to give away too much too early, but we got a new website. It's almost done coming out. We're going to be offering premium stuff and all just experts in every sport. So we are going to start from the ground up and get rolling on all that. Very excited. Really appreciate all your support. As usual, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. You qualify for our weekly $50 PayPal giveaway. And before I forget, because I tend to do that, I'm getting old, and I like to day drink sometimes, so I forget things. Tony Aguirre is our winner this week. So Tony Aguirre, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know how to get that to you. Congratulations to you. That's a big thank you to our sponsor of that giveaway, our friends at Tax Relief Advocates. Now is the time to call those guys. 1-800-411-9633. They can get you sorted out. I know there's a lot of apprehension. Should I file now? Should I wait for new law? I mean, the world's a crazy place. We live in a crazy fucking place now. Do we not, Dion? We do. So it's one way to help. And, I'm glad we can do these things live. And I appreciate Dion being here. It's always fun when we do this. So hockey, 7 games. We won't go game by game by game. What I want to do is I want to pick the expert NHL brain of Dion. So my first question, as we look at the 7-game slate, Vegas has a lot of these games being higher scoring aside from the St. Louis Anaheim game. So if we were just looking at stacks, studs, teams and lineups you want to build your lineups around, where are we looking at? Just starting out at the top lines, power play lines, etc.
Oh man, starting at the top, it's probably going to be. We're probably just going to go back to this Toronto Edmonton game. We saw that last time out, Edmonton got shut out 4-0 or 3-0 in that last game. So I don't expect to see that happen again. If you look over the last 4 games that they played before this last one, 4-3, 3-4, 2-4, 3-1. So I think we see a much better game. Hopefully we can get one of these 6-4 games, 5-6 games today. I really don't want to play either of the goalies from this game, but I do like both sides. Of course, we start off with that top line since Matthews might be out tonight. And again, he's questionable for tonight's game. So just be following me on my page, and I'll get that out as soon as we get updated information on him.
Just on that real quick, who's the biggest benefit? Let's say Matthews doesn't play, and it looks like he wasn't really swinging the stick. Title of my sex tape. There you go. Wasn't really swinging the stick all that hard in warm-ups, stuff like that. So would it be Marner who benefits more, or was there like a backup center who's going to?
Well, right now, the person that's going to benefit the most is Tavares. Because one, he hasn't been doing a ton. And honestly, I think they need to do what they was trying to do before Matthews went out and put him back with Matthews Marner to get him back scoring points, because he's a guy that definitely could score goals in bunches. But yeah, like Ryan said, it's probably Nylander is the one who's going to benefit the most, because he'll move up to the top power play unit. We've seen it last game, the power play unit that they rolled out with Thornton, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, and Riley. So he moved up to the top power play unit as coming from the second power play unit. I think they added Spiza or Kerfoot to the second power play unit, along with some of those first and second year guys that they have. So I honestly like that top power play unit. It's like I said, the Thornton, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, and Raleigh. I love that top power play unit, but again, I do really like that top line. Even without Austin Matthews, they still played really well that last game, and we seen Tavares slide in, and he even picked up a point or 2 points in that last game as well. So, and again, it's something that we haven't seen from Tavares in the last few games, which it's been hit or miss with him. But we know Matthews is the one that's just been on fire. So you had to think that with Tavares sliding up to the top line, that maybe he can replicate what Matthews was doing before he got injured. So I really like that top line. And again, it's the Tavares, Marner, Thornton, and Raleigh line, but I don't think you can go wrong with either. And then on the other side, I love McDavid. I definitely think he has a bounce back game. Again, he's just super, super priced up. Chasing, he's playing on the top power play unit, super cheap. Definitely, if you want to run back, it'll probably be one of these cheap pieces because if you take somebody like McDavid or Draisaitl with Matthews, Marner, Riley, or even just Matthews, Marner, or even Matthews, Nylander, Riley, it still is going to leave you with having to punt somewhere or find some cheap pieces that you can trust for the night. And I have a few, but there's not a ton that I totally like for the night. So if you try to game stack that game, you're going to need to find some cheap pieces. And since we're talking about cheap pieces, let's move to this Calgary and Ottawa game.
Perfect.
I really like Batherson. I like Batherson a lot. In the last 5 games, he has nothing less than 15, at least 15 fantasy points. I definitely think that's one play that you can take and then build around that game stack, that Toronto Edmonton game stack, because he's playing on the top power play unit, super, super cheap. Dadnoff is going to be the cheap play piece that you want from Ottawa on DraftKings. I'm almost certain that he's still super cheap, probably cheaper than Batherson, but I'll have to take a look there. But again, if you want to, like I said, if you want to try to game stack some of these games with the higher priced players, Batherson, Dadnoff, Stitzel, even Colin White. I really like Colin White as well. But we've talked about it. We've talked about it. This is the TK brother matchup right here. The Kachuk brothers and against each other. And we've seen it. So first game, it was Matthew that showed up. Or no, first game, it was Brady that showed up. The next game, it was Matthew that showed up. So we'll see what happens today. I still think either are in play. But for me, it's going back to Carolina. Love the Trocheck line. He's turning out to be our Toffoli for revenge narratives. You know what we're talking about. Toffoli gave it to the Canucks every fucking game, basically. And that's what Trocheck has done these first 2 games. 21 and 22 fantasy points in the first 2 games. This is a revenge spot for him. They gave him a nice video tribute the last game, and he still had a really nice game. So I definitely think you can go back there. He's only 5-4 on FanDuel, which is a really nice price, especially for some of the lower price centers, like the mid price centers on the slate. So I really, really like him. And like I said, 22 and 21 and a 20 and a half the last time they played. So definitely like that.
Love it.
Also, if you need a cheap piece from Florida, Vitrino, he's moved up to the top line now, playing on the second power play unit, but definitely like him skating on the top line. He should see more ice time. So, and we already seen how he's been playing with, I think he's been playing on like the third line. So we've already seen, the good play that he's been playing, just playing with the third line. So definitely, if you need another cheap piece, then you can definitely go there, Vitrino. On that top line. So I like this Carolina-Florida game. Somebody already said it. Stacking this game, it's a nice stack too as well. Like I said, that the top 2 lines for Florida, either one are definitely in play. And then the top 2 lines for Carolina, again, either are in play. And that top power play unit with Trocheck, Aho, Vichenko, and Hamilton. So definitely love that spot there. Looking at some other spots that I like. Again, we got some high total games on this slate, so you can pick your spots I don't think you have to pick them carefully. I think like you can't really go wrong with stacking some of these teams on the slate, like Winnipeg tonight. And again, I could really go on and talk about this entire slate. I just told Bash before we got on the pod, I love this slate tonight. Colorado, of course, Colorado.
Yeah,
definitely
they're the biggest favorite on the card over.
Yeah.
They're minus. Let me pull it up. They are a minus 225 favorite right now.
And that's going to be your cash stack right there. Definitely can go with McKinnon, Taves on that top line, or you can play that second line. Kadri, Burakovsky, Sad, and Gerard, who's moved up to the top power play unit with Maker out. So Colorado is basically where you're going to start for cash. Like Ryan said, Chassin is a nice cheap piece to stack around there because again, Colorado is always priced up. Especially when you try to fit that top line in together with McKinnon, Retton, and Landeskog. It's really super hard to fit. That's a great point, Ryan. Like I was talking about that stack as well, the Winnipeg stack with again, like either of the lines, top two lines for me, Scheifele, Du Bois, Wheeler, Pionk, and the second line with Stastny, Ehlers, and Connor. You can definitely take the top power play unit as well. We know we can attack the Canucks. Another great spot on the slate to attack. I do have some interest in Pedersen. If you go on a game stack and you want to run like a top power play unit stack and run it back with somebody, I like Pedersen a lot. Pearson, I have some slight interest in. But, man, for me, like I said, cash is going to be Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. I mean,
we talked about one of the sleepers on the slate.
You think they'll be lower owned since it's the late game?
Not necessarily because they play in San Jose. Right. Now, I will say McKinnon will probably be the highest owned player of all of the plays in that game. So you'll get some lower ownership on different plays from that game, but I don't think they're going to be like super, super low on. Now, the second line will probably be lower on than the top line. Like I said, I really like Saad as a one-off, especially if you just need to get some type of exposure to that game because Colorado could definitely put up 6-7 goals today versus the Sharks.
Right. I mean, he's the shittiest goalie on the slate, right? The two shittiest goalies, Anaheim and San Jose. We got Jones, we got Gibson, maybe Demko for Vancouver as well, adding onto that Winnipeg point. Like, those are like the three goalies that like I'm really looking to sort of target. Just kind of pivoting to goalie, not to goalies you like. Is there a value goalie? Like for me, when I'm looking at value goalies, I'm looking at Binnington. Binnington has the big upside. I know Anaheim's not a great offensive team, so he may not see as many shots. But he's got that shutout upside, right, against Anaheim, I think. Like, Binnington's the guy who can go out there and stop 35 shots and get a shutout, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah. I think it's probably going to be this Carolina goalie. He's actually been playing really well. I don't have a problem with either of those goalies in that first game, this Carolina-Florida game. But like you said, really like Binghamton. Probably just going to go there for the night. Murray has actually been playing pretty good too, but I can't pull the trigger on that shit. Like I can't do that.
Yeah, just Binnington. I disagree with Ryan. I don't think Binnington's trash. I've actually won tons of hockey money off Binnington. He's scored me a ton of points, and he says John Gibson's a good goalie because he shut out Vegas. Well, that was 17 days ago, 18 days ago. Since then, given up 3, 5, 4, and 3 goals, and none of those teams had more than 30 shots. So I have to disagree. I don't think that Gibson is all that good. I certainly won't be playing him in DFS. I think Binnington's the play there in that price range.
Yeah, I definitely like that because I have a ton of interest in St. Louis. I like Raquel for Anaheim, maybe Silfberg. But I don't really have a ton of interest in Anaheim like that, especially like if you look at their lineup, and what they're rolling out. Most of these guys that's been there haven't really even been producing, like Raquel, Silfberg. They just show up whenever the fuck they want to. So, I mean, I really do like attacking this team. Now, I know that they don't give up a ton of goals. Like, they haven't just had their ass kicked like 7-6, like a ton this season. So I do like this top line for St. Louis, the O'Reilly, Caruso, Sanford, and Krong line. I really, really like Krong. My favorite defenseman on the slate is Dumba or Broden from Minnesota, though. Don't have any problems with either of them. Both of them are cheap. I think Broden is like 3,800 or something, 4K on FanDuel, and then Dumba, he's 4,800. So, and we've seen him score the winning game in overtime the last game. So, I definitely love those two defensemen a lot more. But Krug, I wouldn't sleep on him. I definitely think he could score tonight. Like I said, I really, really like that top line for St. Louis. And couldn't go wrong with the second line either. We also got to wait and see what they're going to do with Tarasenko. I don't know if he's going to – they said he could be making his debut on this road trip. So we just got to just every day is just a wait and see with that. But he's 2,500 on DraftKings. He's 75 fucking hundred on FanDuel, yo.
Wow.
Like, FanDuel didn't even get that he's been out for so fucking long that if they decide to play him tonight, he's 2,500 on DraftKings if he gets thrown on like the second power play unit. So that right there – I know it's risky with a guy coming back from injury, missing all that time, but I mean 2,500 for a guy that we know could score, especially against a team like Anaheim. It's not like Tampa Bay or Vegas or Toronto or somebody like that. It's Anaheim. So I mean, if he plays, if he gets thrown into a lineup and on a power play unit, I'll definitely take a shot there on DraftKings. But like I said, I wouldn't fuck with it on FanDuel. 7,500, and this guy's missed shit fucking like almost a year and a half or something like that. Like hell no, that's
crazy. That's crazy. Well, sometimes fans,
but that tells you how good of a player he is as well too. Like he can get it done.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get it. So speaking, I'm kind of glad you brought up Minnesota because I want to get to. Let's talk a little bit contrarian before we move on to the NBA side. Contrarian stack, some underdogs who have some upside tonight, who could get the win, score some goals, and to me. Look, I know Marc-Andre Fleury is playing very well, but I think Minnesota, to me, is the one that stands out. Like, that's the one that I like the most in terms of the underdogs today. Minnesota is one of these sneaky teams, and we'll see the comment here. There's already someone who disagrees with me, which is fine. Fleury gets his fourth shutout tonight against Minnesota. Minnesota's sneaky, man. They'll throw up goals in bunches, and I've won some money off Minnesota.
Man, I mean, think about it. You got people like, so today, that second line, I already like the second line. To begin with, the Raz, Zuccarello, Caprizal, and then Broden and Dumba plays on that line as well. So you get two solid defensemen that I already really, really like that's playing on that line. And then, like I said, Zuccarello, since he's come back, he's just been playing extremely well. I mean, look at what he's done since he's come back. Like, you can't ignore that. Caprizal, come on, man. Like, did you guys not see this dude fall to his stomach and still get the goal? Like, y'all see that wraparound goal this last game? Like, come on, this dude he's on fire right now. And that second line has just been playing extremely well. Is led by Raz at center, and today is his birthday, so he can get a birthday goal. But of course, like somebody was saying, that top line as well, Greenway, Falah, Spurgeon, Suter, you can definitely go there. The top two lines for them, you can definitely go there. Even the third, I even have some slight interest in the third line and Hartman and Praise. I really like the Wild today. Yeah, that kid is just nasty. And I really wish my bro Matty Ice was in here because he'll tell y'all he's a big Minnesota Wild fan. He's over at RPS, does hockey for them. I love that guy. Great info all the time. Man, that kid is going to be something to fuck with for the seasons to come. Matthews doing hard skating drills now. That's a good sign. As any that he doesn't.
I need like a breaking news sign, right? Breaking news.
Right. So he probably won't play tonight.
So are we in agreement?
Yeah, they said no chance he plays tonight.
Who, Matthews? No chance?
Yeah, Matthews.
He's out. So there you go. It looks very unlikely he's going to play. And plus, for his price, with all the injury considered, I mean, it'd only take one play, and he's like, look, it's not going to work. So a whole bunch of risk. Now, I will say, if for some reason they throw him out there, he'll probably be lower owned than he would ever be in the history of Austin Matthews.
Right.
And if he
But
does,
it's his risk.
it's a lot of risk. It's your risk tolerance, you know. So
yeah,
it's all about how much.
You gotta. So fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. And so just going on under the contrarian type stuff. So we know we love the Torontos, we love the Edmontons, we love the Colorados, the Carolinas. You know, we like all them. Carolina, Florida is essentially a pick 'em at this point. Both those teams.
Yep.
One other underdog I sort of have some interest in would be Vancouver. How would you sort of rate the underdogs at contrarian stacks? Do we agree that Minnesota is the one, or what do you?
I'm about to say Minnesota is number one for me. I love Minnesota.
Me too.
Love Minnesota tonight. Like I said, top three line. It doesn't matter either one of those lines you play. I love all three. And I think that you can take Minnesota money line tonight, and I do think they get the win tonight. But yeah, so Minnesota would have to be one for me. The Senators will probably be number two if I had to take contrarian. And then, like you said, the Canucks. Only reason why I have them as three is because I'm not really sold on the line that I have that I like from that game, which is the Pettersson line. It's the second line, Pettersson, Miller, Bosher. I honestly just really like Pettersson. I like Pettersson a lot from that game, and I really wouldn't have a problem if that was the only play you took from that game as far as on the Canucks side. But, yeah, that's how I would rank it. Minnesota 1, the Senators 2, and then the Canucks 3.
Boom.
As far as contrarian players.
Boom. And then real quick, do we want to go over goalies that we like for tonight? We'll move over to NBA or anything else you want to add to the slate before we go to that?
Goalie, I think it's just Gruber. I think you really just, if he gets the start tonight versus San Jose, honestly, it's just whoever starts for Colorado, personally for me. If you need the cheap goalie, then Halbuck, not much cheaper, but it'll be Binghamton. Sitting down at 7.5.
Bennington, that's what I think too. And I know he's had some bad performances lately, and including the last game, he got replaced in that game. But I just look at Anaheim's offense, not overly impressed. I know Bennington can get those big, those shutout type games. He was off to a hot start early in the year. I mean, when you just kind of go over what he's done, the last 4 games not been so good. 5-2, 2-4, and 4 goals allowed. But, I mean, when you look coming into February, he was on an absolute tear, beating teams like Vegas and Anaheim, Arizona. Even San Jose, he gave up 1 goal in an overtime loss. I mean, he lost and put up 25. So I like the tournament upside for him at his price.
It's just the only problem with Binghamton is, like, if you look at his history versus his team, now he's gotten the win. He's, 3-1 versus this team over his career since 2018. But if you look at the shots, one game it looked like he may have come in for somebody and gotten the win, but 23 shots, 21 shots. The last game he played 23 shots. That's the only thing that's bringing him down is the amount of shots that he's going to see. So that's why I'm kind of like off of that play and on some other plays because if you get the win, like one on FanDuel, you want the win. Like that's what you want.
Right.
If he can get the shutout, that's even fucking better because that's 20 points that you're getting for the win and the shutout.
Exactly.
But if he gets the win at 23 stops, that's 14 fucking fantasy points. Yep. You get somebody like Halbuck who's probably going to see a lot more.
Yeah, and I like Hellbuck tonight. Even though I do think Vancouver's a live dog, I do think that Hellbuck is right there in line. He's one of the top.
Yeah, big upside. I mean, you look at over the last, like this year, not so great, a 16 and a 13, but last year, a 34 and a 53, a 4-0 shutout, a 4-1 win. The year before that, a 4-1 win with 26 shots. He got 29 fantasy points. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, even he just had 26 shots, but he still got 29 fantasy points because he only let 1 go through. If Binghamton fucks around and have one of these meltdowns and fucks around and lets in 2 or 3 shots, then we're screwed for the night, even if he does pick up the win because he let so many goals in. But even this was a 6-1 win, the one he picked up this year, 23 shots on goal. He only let 1 goal in, and he still only got 14 fantasy points. So, right. I mean, you kind of see it, the difference there. Like I said, I would kind of I like Bingleton. Of course, if you're looking for somebody that can get the win, then it's Bingleton.
Yeah.
But if you want somebody that's going to see the shots and things like that, then it's going to be like Hallebuck, or who was the other one that I said at the top, Gruber. He'll even probably see
for Toronto. If you want to go contrarian and go Toronto over Edmonton, Edmonton's going to fly the puck at the crease. And
hell yeah, I mean, think about it. Jack Campbell.
He's been the best goalie in the league this year. I really do believe that. A 95% save percentage. He's allowing 1.33 goals per game. Now he's only been started 3 games. So let me preface that a little bit, but you're going to see a ton of shots from Edmonton. He just shut out Edmonton 2 days ago. So there's some upside there. I mean, that's 44 points, hasn't scored less than 17 in a single start. So in terms of reserve goalies, I should say, not just goalies, but he's been one of the best reserve goalies in the league in limited action. This year. Anything else before we go to NBA? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the last thing. I know Pedersen's been having a bad year, but that's the reason why I like him. Again, me and Bats talk about this all the time. Scare money don't make money. So if people are going to see that he's been having a terrible year, that he hasn't been playing well, and they want to stay off him, and he fucks around and get a hattie tonight or scored 4 goals, he breaks the fucking slate and you get him at lower ownership.
Exactly.
Again, we've been seeing these guys like yesterday. Like, look at where the fucking goals came from yesterday. I was so pissed off with that fucking slate. The only thing that was like the highlight of my day was the Blackhawks winning and Kane scoring a couple goals. Like, other than that, that shit was terrible, yo. So you never fucking know. You never know. He fucks around and scored 3 or 4 goals today. You shit out of luck if you don't have them, basically.
Exactly. Yep, I absolutely agree. That's great hockey stuff. We will move over to NBA. I'll go position by position. Dion, feel free to jump in with anything you might have, questions, whatever. Answer your questions in the chat box. We will do it as normal. So starting a point guard today, it's a 7-game slate, of course. You got Luka against Orlando. I've said this a million times. Talented scoring guards against the Orlando Magic are money. They allow the second most fantasy points to opposing point guards. They can't defend anyone back there. First of all, they're just shorthanded back there. So there is that. Of course, Luka's in play. Lillard against Charlotte. Charlotte is undermanned. They've got, we're not sure yet if even Gordon Hayward's going to play. Lots of COVID stuff going on. So they have a weird rotation. It's on a back-to-back. They're one of the few, them and Houston are the 2 teams on a back-to-back today. So Damian Lillard against Charlotte. Sure, I normally don't pay over $10,000 for Damian Lillard. I prefer just to take the savings for Kyrie Irving, who we'll talk about here in just a moment. And with James Harden on the slate at a close to similar price, like James Harden's the guy to go to, but Lillard will be lower owned than usual. Charlotte's got to be exhausted. They're running a short rotation. All their guys played 40 minutes yesterday, so I do like Lillard. Kyrie against San Antonio. San Antonio, another one of those teams hurt by all the COVID protocols. They're going to be without Derek White. They're going to be without some other player, Keldon Johnson as well. Kyrie, 9K on Fanduel, 9-1 on DraftKings. I don't mind Kyrie. He's hit 5 times value at that price tag, 63 and 67% of the time this year. John Wall was a massive window licker. It's a back-to-back. He's going to be low owned because of how many people he burned. He does have the upside. Cleveland, not great defensively. I think John Wall's an interesting contrarian tournament play. Now, he could burn you like he did yesterday, but nonetheless, he's still in play. And I just got asked, do I think Brooklyn covers the 5-point spread? I do. I think the lock of the day for me in terms of NBA betting would be Brooklyn -5 over San Antonio. San Antonio is still just too shorthanded, no Keldon Johnson. You're going to be relying on, Jacob Podol at center and, LaMarcus Aldridge is back, et cetera. But I do like Brooklyn today. They seem to be hitting their stride. To me, I mean, they're the best team in the East, the most talented team in the East. They're the most talented team in the league, for that matter. I do think they covered the Spurs tonight. I don't mind LaMelo against Portland. It is a back-to-back, but LaMelo's going to have to play a ton of minutes, especially if Gordon Hayward stays out. Also, Portland, 25th against point. Portland's a terrible defensive team, like from top to bottom. They're just much like the Chicago Bulls, Chicago Bulls. God-awful defensive team. So I like to attack them. That's just what I had to attack me. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. The fucking Bulls, ever since my boy Jordan left, pretty much just don't like the Bulls. We'll have to keep an eye on Malcolm Brogdon if he plays. If not, of course, TJ McConnell, Justin Holiday. Those sort of guys will be more valuable. Darius Garland, I don't mind his price on FanDuel. I love Mike Conley against New Orleans tonight. Took the last game off for rest. He'll be back in the lineup tonight. New Orleans allows the third most fantasy points to opposing point guards. He's in the low to mid sixes with the 40, 50 point upside. Yeah, I'll take it. TJ McConnell is now 6,100, which is fucking crazy. It's a little bit of a revenge game. Played with the Pacers or with the Sixers for a while. Put up a 45 the other day. If Brogdon is out, he's going to start. And Jeremy Lamb is also banged up for the Pacers. So TJ McConnell, whether he's going to see a shit ton of minutes, and he does have the upside. We just saw it the other day. It's weird that he's 6'1". It's tough for me to kind of wrap my mind around that, but it is what it is.
But you know what's crazy? I think, like, I have to look this up and see, but I think he legit smashes this spot every time he's in it. And he's like, not like every time he's in it, but every time he's in it and he's actually going to see minutes.
TJ McConnell, yeah. TJ McConnell smashes. TJ McConnell got me a 50 when he played for the Knicks like 3 years ago. He won me like over $1,000, like off the bench. He got a 50. Like, it doesn't make any sense. TJ McConnell looks like the guy. If you just pull up his picture, he legit looks like when you watch one of those like after school specials where the parents don't like the daughter's boyfriend and she goes up missing and he's got a violence problem. That's what TJ McConnell looks like. Straight up.
Yeah. Like, look at this. Like, okay, so look at this. So 11 minutes, 12 fantasy points versus Philly. This is 2019 too. So this is what, last year. Yeah. So yeah, 11 minutes, 12 fantasy points, 27 minutes, 29 fantasy popoints, 14 minutes, 12 fantasy points, 17 minutes, he got 32 fantasy points. So, I mean, like you said,
he put up a 45 46 minutes the other day. Again, Jeremy Lamb and Malcolm Brogdon both banged up. They have to rely on TJ McConnell. So he's in. Ben Simmons.
He played versus once this year, 23 fantasy points. So, I mean, you can see that he's doing it with the minutes that he's getting.
Yeah, and Ben Simmons is an interesting question by Ryan in the chat. And here's my deal with Ben Simmons. I'll play Ben Simmons on FanDuel. It is going to be an easier defensive matchup, obviously, if both Lamb and Brogdon are out, then you're starting to see the backups. I don't play Ben Simmons on DraftKings because he doesn't shoot threes, and you get that extra half-point bonus on DraftKings for threes, right?
Except for the one.
I could go out right now, my 40-year-old ass, drinking vodka orange juices all day in my fucking slippers, and I could make more. I could beat Ben Simmons in a three-point shootout, straight up. Like, I would smoke him. I would make him my bitch in a three-point shootout. Straight up. I would. But on FanDuel, where you get the extra point for blocks and the extra point for steals, that's where Ben Simmons is a play for me. I don't play a ton of Ben Simmons. We'll have to keep an eye on what happens with Tobias Harris. Obviously, if Tobias Harris and possibly Joel Embiid, who's dealing with a back issue, if they're both out, then Ben Simmons is going to be chalk. And in that case, I'm going to fade the Ben Simmons chalk because I don't trust him to lead the team because I think he's a mental midget. So it's kind of an interesting thing. If I'm playing Ben Simmons today, I want Tobias Harris out and Joel Embiid in. That is what I want. I want the assist upside, and I don't want him being the focal point.
You at least want one of those two in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if not, he don't play well by himself. Like,
no, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
He needs somebody to have to get those assists to. So
100%. Looking at value, Jalen Brunson, Monty Morris. I like these guys. I actually have Monty Morris in a lineup right now against Chicago. I like to attack Chicago. They give up a ton of points. They play at a high pace. Paced up game for Denver. Monty Morris has been starting, playing 30 minutes. He's got 30, 35 point upside, so I can go there. Facundo Campazzo as well. Patty Mills. Sterling Brown will be someone interesting to keep an eye on. Eric Gordon just got put on the injury report. So if Eric Gordon doesn't play, all of a sudden Sterling Brown becomes this value against Cleveland at 3,904 too. I think he could be interesting as well. Another guy I occasionally sprinkle in, especially if I'm like mass entering something or playing, 30, 40 lineups, is your boy from Chicago, Tomas Satoransky. I don't know why, but I can't help it but put him in because once in a while, dude just gets red hot and he fucking puts up like a 40. He's playing 20 to 30 minutes every night, nothing less than a 15 his last 5 games, a 35 and a 21 in his last 3 against Denver. I don't believe Victor Oladipo is playing today. As far as I know, he is not. But that's it for me at point guard. Let's move.
He should be well rested. Didn't have to play yesterday. So
Yeah, well, I don't think he's got an injury, and so I'm not sure Oladipo is going to play. I don't
No,
believe.
I'm talking about Satoransky.
Oh yeah, Satoransky, man. Like Satoransky does shit for me off the bench. Shooting guard, I love James Harden against the Spurs. Look, Spurs are riddled with COVID issues, etc. James Harden, massive upside. I don't think I need to explain that he has massive upside here. So of course I love James Harden. I like Donovan Mitchell quite a bit against New Orleans. Now Donovan Mitchell can be a maddening type DFS play, right? He can go out there and get you like 31. You're like, what the hell is going on with Donovan Mitchell? But New Orleans allows the sixth most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards, 59, 44, and 51 in 3 of his last 4 against New Orleans. I do like Donovan Mitchell. DeMar DeRozan is interesting today against Brooklyn. It's going to get that James Harden, Kyrie Irving defense. The Spurs, very shorthanded. He came back off dealing with this stuff, played 38 minutes the last game, put up a 55. A little pricey. I don't like paying more than $8,000 for DeMar DeRozan, but he is certainly in play.
He's still playing off emotions, right?
Yeah, he's still playing off emotions, and they're going to need him. Like,
fuck yeah. I'll just keep on playing him. Like he's still playing off emotions.
Without Derek White there as well. Like he's going to get more ball handling duties. He'd sort of shifted away from that earlier in the year. He'd been playing more in the 3 of the even sometimes. DeMar DeRozan was listed as the starting power forward for the Spurs. That's the kind of shit they've been doing this year, and the Spurs are hard to trust. Don't get me wrong, and there's certainly blowout potential in this game. Brooklyn is so much more talented, even without Kevin Durant, than San Antonio is. And, San Antonio is going to be without a few players tonight, Derek White and Keldon Johnson in particular. Let's see. Victor Oladipo is now showing like he's going to play. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I'll have to wait and see. I'll do a quick notification check here right now. I'll do a quick search as we're talking about it just to see.
Here, I got you. You go ahead. I'll do that.
Yeah. If you could look that up and let me know what they're saying about Victor Oladipo, because that is something interesting to watch. PJ Washington was my dude last night. Got me a 60 burger, and we talked about him on the live show. PJ Washington was one of my favorite plays yesterday. Took me to the money. I was one Ja Morant douchebag fucking game away from taking down that $100,000 tournament. I'm really pissed off about that. Colin Sexton against Houston. I do like Colin Sexton quite a bit, 7-1 and 7-5. He's absolutely in play. Terry Rozier, for me, he's a FanDuel play only at 6-8. There's no way I pay $8,000 for Terry Rozier. Even though I love the matchup against Portland, it's just $8,000 is too expensive for him. Gary Trent Jr., 5'5", 6K against Charlotte. I can go there again. Charlotte's going to be exhausted no matter what. And yeah, I agree. The Rockets did fucking suck last night. Luckily, I just pivoted away and went a lot to that Sacramento-Charlotte game. And I had a lot of Devin Booker, who got me 58 last night, one of our stars from our show yesterday as well. Eric Bledsoe against Utah has been coming on a little bit lately. There you go. Congratulations, Eric Bledsoe. But again, he's got that scary floor, which can scare you just a little bit there. Bruce Brown, Tim Hart. It gets pretty ugly here. Isaac Okoro, 4-3 on FanDuel is too cheap. We saw the 40-point upside in their last game. Again, Houston, not a great defensive team, still without Christian Wood, so they're undersized with PJ Tucker, Jayshawn Tate, Daniel House. Again, we don't know if Eric Gordon's going to play. Ryan Johnson asks, do I watch all the NBA games? Well, that's physically impossible. It's just not even possible. I watch as much as I can, research as much as I can, but no, I do not watch every single NBA game. That sometimes I put up 4 or 5 on the screen and I watch and just, sort of like red zone for NFL. The NFL, I watch every game. I watch every game 3 or 4 times, but NBA, not so much. Not really necessary either. If you can really stay just kind of updated on the stats, the trends. My brain works in that sort of fashion. Another guy, Dylan Windler, has sort of been getting minutes lately for Cleveland. Dean Wade, not Dwayne Wade, Dean Wade. If Taurean Prince is going to be out, guys like Windler and Wade could be some value pivots as well. If we move over to the small forward position, got Ingram at the top against Utah. I'm going to pass there. This is one of the worst positions for me today. I don't like much at the top. Like, I'm not spending 6'8" or 6'7" on Evan Fournier. Like, no, I would honestly rather get herpes through a dirty needle injected into my nutsack than play fucking Evan Fournier at 7K. Like, no way in hell. If Evan Fournier was like 5'5", sure, I'd be in, but no, not at that price. Michael Porter Jr., another guy, very frustrating. His 6.5 price tag on FanDuel is right against Chicago, 18th against small forwards. I will not pay the $7K on DraftKings for Michael Porter. And then it's pretty ugly. Malik Monk getting tons of minutes back to back. He's going to see all the minutes he can handle. A bad Portland team looking for some value there. 4.9 and 5.5. I don't mind Malik Monk. Will Barton, 4.9 on FanDuel, 5.4 on DraftKings. Very frustrating player, but again, I like that Chicago matchup. The problem for Will Barton is he's just not getting to that 50-point upside anymore, right? It's disappeared. And he's got all the opportunity in the world. No Gary Harris, etc. Like there might no JaMychal Green. Yeah, I would, Ryan, you're absolutely right. I would rather be the guy banging the fat chick at the bar than that might get me in trouble. I'm not even sure I'm allowed to say that. But the big, beautiful woman, I should say. That's how I mean it. But no, Evan Fournier at 7K can go fuck himself. That's not going to happen. Bogdanovich at 4.8 and 5.2. He sort of does this where he like disappears a little bit and then boom, throws up a 35. So he's sort of interesting. Fucking Joe Harris. I can't do the Joe Harris thing. If Kyrie or Harden were going to be out, then I would do the Joe Harris thing, but not until then. He's so 3-point dependent. Only a DraftKings play for me. I do like Josh Richardson against Orlando. Again, skilled guards who can defend and shoot a little bit. I like against Orlando. Orlando allows the 4th most fantasy points to opposing small forward shooting guards. He's 4.5 and 4.9. I do think Richardson's in play. If Eric Gordon's going to miss this game, Daniel House Jr. becomes much more valuable to me. Cleveland allows the 3rd most fantasy points to the position. I like Daniel House Jr. at 4.5. I will not pay the 5.7 on DraftKings for Daniel House. I don't know what kind of crack they're smoking there, but there's no way in hell I'm paying 5.7 for Daniel House Jr., but I will pay the 4.5 on FanDuel. So, on FanDuel where you have to play 2 of each position, the 2 sites are exponentially different. That's what I would do. What up, David Robinson? Thank you for joining the chat. If Fournier puts up a 60 burger tonight, I'm going to be very depressed. You were right, Ryan. It'll be pretty funny. And some value guys getting minutes. Now, these guys can get you a single-digit score with 30-plus minutes, or they can get you in the 20s. Doug McDermott, Garrett Temple, he's in play there. Denzel Valentine. That's it. Let's go to power forward. Try to get you guys out of here in an hour. You got anything to add to any of that? What did I miss?
No, nothing. It just looks like Defoe is probably going to play. I don't see anything about him not playing, and it didn't look like he was out for rest as well.
Okay, so there you go. Well, he's been dealing with a foot issue and missed the last couple of games, but now all of a sudden he's healthy. I can't make her. These NBA players are such fucking divas. Like Michael Jordan. Can you imagine Michael Jordan going, "Oh, I need load management. Rest me on a back-to-back." No, these guys are a bunch of fucking pussies. Absolute bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Migraines are the worst.
I played Dennis Schroeder yesterday, who actually got off to a good start, but we just blew them out, so it didn't really matter. Power forward. If Joel Embiid is out, I love Sabonis. If he's in, I don't. Joel Embiid's actually been very good against Sabonis there in the interior. If Joel Embiid plays, we'll get to that in a minute, but he lights up Miles Turner. Like he makes Miles Turner his little bitch. Put up an 80 the last time he played Miles Turner, just for the record. It's weird. You've been doing this. I've done this long enough now. This is what, my 5th NBA season or something. I've been doing it. I remember what they like every game against each. It's fucking weird, but I can't remember a conversation with a friend of mine a week ago. You know what I mean? It's fucking bizarre. I actually do like Zion against Utah. I know he's a little bit priced up, but they don't really Gobert's going to be battling Steven Adams. What are you going to do with Zion? Royce O'Neal? Get the hell out of here. Royce O'Neal might be the worst starting player outside of Tony Snell ever in the history of the NBA. Tobias Harris, we're still waiting on news from that. Thank you again, Dave Robertson. Appreciate the kind words in the chat, brother. We appreciate you guys all being in here. It really is humbling. Cheers to you all. Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. Let's rock and roll. PJ Washington, look, just had a huge game last night, played 41 minutes. Look, if Zeller and Hayward are out again, this young kid's going to have to play a lot of minutes tonight. And we see his upside. The last 2 games when they've really relied on him, 29 and 41 minutes, a 43 and a 67. So PJ Washington against a Portland team who struggles defensively, especially in the interior at 6,200. I do like PJ Washington. LaMarcus Aldridge, he's back here to wreck the day.
So right now we got The Hornets injury report is out. Gordon Hayward and Zeller are doubtful for the night. Graham is out for Monday, and Graham is out.
There you go. Just like that. So, yeah, I mean, all those Hornets from last night, the Cody Martins, the twins, the Cody and the Caleb. Now, before they went on the protocol list, Caleb Martin was getting all the minutes. Now it's Cody Martin who's getting all the minutes. I can't make heads or tails of that. One of those guys. Right now, I would say Cody Martin seems to be sort of entrenched in the rotation. Maybe they go more to Caleb tonight since he hasn't really played. I think he played 4 minutes last night, something like that. It is a back-to-back for Charlotte, and they're under men. There's just no doubt about it. So that just is what it is right there. LaMarcus Aldridge is 5'6" and 6'2". I love big men and centers against Brooklyn. I have for 4 fucking years. Now, played 23 minutes, put up a 30, 25 minutes at 25. I think he's in play. He's got the upside. Again, no Keldon Johnson, no Derek White, etc. Like they're still battling no Devin Vassell. They're still battling some of those front court wing position issues. LaMarcus Aldridge should see all the minutes he can handle alongside Jacob Poeltl against Brooklyn. Jayshawn Tate's price is finally falling, so I guess I could go there on Fanduel at 5-1. Miles Bridges was great last night, got us a 31. He's at 4-8 on DraftKings. He won't start, so people are going to get off the Miles Bridges train because they're like, oh, well, he doesn't start. They're starting one of these Martin twins. It doesn't matter. He's still going to play 25 to 30 minutes and has that upside. So 4-8 on DraftKings. I do think Miles Bridges is absolutely in play. And then value guys, look, if they're going to continue to give Trey Lyles a minutes, he played 35 minutes their last game. They're still without Keldon Johnson. So you might still see some Trey Lyles. So I guess that's okay. I'm not going to rush to jam him in any lineups. I talked about Dean Wade, played over 20 minutes in 3 straight games, 16, 21, and 22 in those games. Al-Farouq Aminu I know is starting, but I just won't do that to myself. I haven't played him since he played for Portland, and even then he tends to fuck me over, so I'll probably stay away from that. That's just what he does. Al-Farouq Aminu loves to raw dog me. That's just the bottom line. How that goes. At center, Jokic against the Bulls should have a massive game. Bulls 25th against opposing centers. Love that. If Embiid,
did he go? Which one of the different Nuggets went on the protocol list?
I
was hearing that it may have been
Jermichael Green, Paul Millsap, gone. Oh yeah, they were.
I'm talking about recently because I think they tweeted out something this morning that was saying somebody,
one of their players, but I haven't seen who that player is yet. Let's see if I can look for that. Because you're right, there is a Denver Nuggets player who's at risk. We just don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they released it yet, but I heard some. I think it's people just guessing that it may be Joker.
Jokic. Yeah, I think what happened is when Fantasy Labs releases those information, they always take the best player from the team. They use one picture to generalize the team.
Got it.
Gordon Hayward news is just right out there on any NBA. Just type in Gordon Hayward on Google, dude. He's doubtful tonight. So is Cody Zeller. Devontae Graham been ruled out. You can go to charlottehornets.com as well, I believe, and they'll go to nba.com, click Charlotte Hornets. They'll tell you that. Fresh Prince, love that name, by the way. I mean, West Philadelphia, born and raised, not me, but wish I was. I talked about Embiid against Miles Turner. He torches this guy. Him and Drummond both fuck up Miles Turner. They just crush this guy. The last time he started against Miles Turner, he put up 80 FanDuel points, just so you know. So if Embiid's a full go, I do like Embiid. Any center against Dallas, Houston, Brooklyn. So we got Vucevic, Jared Allen. Both of them are absolutely in play. You get the salary savings for Jared Allen. For me, I have a ton of Jared Allen tonight. What are they going to do? Put PJ Tucker on him? Last time out against Houston, put up a 62. PJ Tucker is 6'5". Jared Allen is much bigger, much more athletic. Rudy Gobert, I think, has been underpriced all year. He and Steven Adams play really well against each other. I think both Adams and Rudy Gobert are certainly in play. Enes Kanter against Charlotte, 6'3" FanDuel, 7'2" DraftKings, a 51 his last time out against Charlotte. I do like Enes Kanter. Steven Adams, I mentioned. DeAndre Jordan against the Spurs. Look, DeAndre Jordan should be able to dominate Jacob Poeltl. Now, Brooklyn's weird, and they use DeAndre Jordan weird, so there's a little bit of nervousness there, but I could take a tournament chance on that. If we're looking at value guys, oh, yeah. Hey, you got it, First Prince. That's what we're here for, is to provide information, and we always try to make sure it's verified before it happens. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor, because we haven't gotten the official starting lineups yet. And you know how the NBA is. They'll say doubtful, and all of a sudden the guy plays 35 minutes. It's really bizarre. It's been that way this year, but right now looks like it looks like Hayward and Zeller will be out, which means more Biombo, more Miles Bridges, more PJ Washington, more of those Martin twins. They're going to be pretty limited. Campazzo, that's the guy that may have the COVID. So Facundo Campazzo, which makes Monty Morris even more of a value play, as a matter of fact. Nice. So just sort of keeping an eye on that, because Campazzo's been getting 22 to 25 minutes a night. If he's not getting that, they may rely even more on Jamal Murray and Monty Morris, Kevin, Michael Porter Jr., et cetera. So it is certainly something to keep an eye on. And it's the NBA this year. It's the wild, wild west. If Joel Embiid is ruled out, then yes, Dwight Howard would certainly be some value. Absolutely. Willie Hernan-Gomez for New Orleans is going to come off the bench. He's sort of overtaken Jackson Hayes as the backup center there. And I think that's really it for me. Yep, that's about it at center. I will say this, one interesting thing. I love hearing that, Tony Aguirre. Hey, did you hear the beginning of the show? Because I think you're our $50 PayPal winner, as a matter of fact, Tony Aguirre. So hit me up on Twitter or like in the comment section of the video and let me know how to get that to you. And Jamal Murray, you're right, Prophecy. Jamal Murray is not the king of social distancing. We'll remember the first week the NBA got shut down, he had a beautiful blonde doing beautiful things to him. That's all I think I'm allowed to say on the air about. Are you just sitting still, Dion? Or are you out of here? I'm not sure if Dion, sometimes Dion sits perfectly still and I can't tell if he's actually in the video. Yeah, no, Tony, your name's written down. You are the winner. So hit me up on Twitter. Let me know how to get that to you. That's it for me at center. You might see some Bismack Biyombo again if Zeller is out as well. Again, you guys, thank you all so much for watching. A big cheers to you all. Good luck in both your hockey and your NBA DFS slates. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section below. Qualify for our weekly PayPal giveaway. I really do appreciate you all so much. If you want my entire player pool for both sports, you can click that link in the video description below. Try it for 30 days for $1. We're going to get out of here. Thank you all again for those of you who joined in the chat box. It's really humbling making me a part of your day live in the middle of the day. Appreciate it all again so much. We'll see you tomorrow with more NBA content. And good luck on all your bets and plays tonight. Thank you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.